Welcome to Tea with Tori. I'm your host, Tori, and today the tea is hot. What's up, guys? Welcome to Tea with Tori. I'm Tori, and today I have a very special guest. I have Adelia here. Adelia, please let everyone know if they don't know who you are, and if they do know, let them know a little better.
Hello, my name is Adelia, alter ego Daddy Deals, alter ego, or I guess more porn star name Daddy Deals, or What is the Deals on Instagram. Funniest story, I tried to make my OnlyFans name What is the Deals, and it wasn't working. Like, someone already took the username, and I remember complaining to OnlyFans, being like, someone is impersonating me. Turns out I made it blacked out one night, so I already grew the Daddy Deals one, so I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with that. What is the Deals has nothing on it.
Oh my god. I literally just did that with my podcast page. I made a new one and I was like, oh shit, why can't it get verified? And it's because you can only have 2 accounts on there.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to switch my Travel with Tori to Tea with Tori. And it literally was like, this name's already taken. I was like, wait, hold on. So I can't make a new account and I can't delete this account, but it's already taken.
Yeah.
I had to go do a whole customer service situation. We had to figure the whole thing out. But so what would you say was your big inspiration behind naming your show That's Offensive?
Okay. It was actually a long process that took me a few weeks. Oh yeah, I have my own podcast called That's Offensive. So it started off by I didn't want to use the word OnlyFans because my old podcast used the word OnlyFans, which made it really hard to run any ads and to, like, I guess monetize anywhere. Yeah. So I was like, what is the sneaky way to have like OnlyFans in a word? So I started looking up words that started with OF, and offensive was one of the first things that came up. And I was like, offensive, that's offensive. And it just all came together because I'm apparently really offensive with my average size tits and my big butt and my not so porn star vagina.
Oh my God. What would you say is the most offensive thing about you to normal society?
I should say it's the OnlyFans, like the vagina stuff.
Yeah.
I'd
say like the porn star life.
Yeah.
What was the moment when you like realized like I am a porn star?
Okay, so it's when I hired a manager, and like he told me he had all these business strategies to help me grow, and like it was bullshit. He basically just tried to exploit me to start showing my vagina, and he was like pressuring me into doing it. And I remember
What?
Because I remember when in my head, I was like, once I start showing my vagina, I'm crossing that line into being a porn star. Because if you're just showing tits, you're basically like a nude model. But once you start masturbating, you're a porn star.
Yeah.
So I had to like debate with myself for like, I think it was like a whole week that I was like deciding this, because I'm like, okay, so is it my issue with being a porn star? Is it everyone else's issue? Is it like society's view on it, or is it my view? So then once I kind of like got to the bottom of it, I'm like, okay, I'm okay to start showing my vagina, and then I fired him. Because I was
You're like, you shouldn't have been pushing me anyway.
He shouldn't have been pushing me, and I wasn't ready when he started, but then he did make me man up and do it on my own.
What was the moment okay, so that was the moment, but like, what was your like final thing that it was like, fuck everyone, fuck what anyone thinks, like this is what I want to do?
Like OnlyFans in general, or like being a full-on porn star?
Full-on porn star.
Full-on porn star.
Well, did you started doing like not full-on porn?
I started my first week of doing OnlyFans. I didn't even show my nipples.
Wait, rewind. How quickly did we go from no nipples to masturbating?
A month and a half.
Oh my God. So what happened in that month and a half? What happened to even get you on OnlyFans? Because I don't feel like you just go from like no nipples to porn. That's a steep ass hill. So how did we get here?
It escalated so quickly.
I can see that.
So basically, I had a job. I was working at a logistics company doing outside. It's D-cut.
It's definitely D-cut.
Oh, I saw him come in, and then he came back out when he saw us. So I was like working, going door to door at a logistics company, and honestly, I had a very emotionally abusive boss where like. I mean, yeah, I guess emotionally. He was just, like, scary. Like, he would, like, punch walls, scream at the phone, like, scream in his car. I heard him scream at someone, like, fixing his windshield. He would yell at us.
He's a crazy man.
Just, like, crazy. And, like, the thing is, he would be like, well, you're not getting these and these sales because you're not doing it, like, the script or whatever. And I'm like, okay, come with me then. He would come with me and I still wouldn't close them. I was like, okay,
so what now?
So what now? And it just got so bad. I was like throwing up every day. I was like really depressed.
Full-blown anxiety attacks.
Yeah, full-blown anxiety attacks. And then it got to the point where it's like I couldn't even like call people on my list of people to call because like when I thought about it, it's like my brain just shut down. My body was shutting down. And I was like thinking about OnlyFans at this point for like 6 months because like I wasn't going to make an OnlyFans and be shameful about it. Like if I was going to make one, I was going to be like loud and proud and like
that's so funny. That's how I was too. I was like a year and a half of contemplation and it took a pandemic and I was like, now's the time. I'm prepared for this.
Because I had a few agencies approach me before I like ever started, and I was like, OnlyFans, like I hadn't really heard of it before. My dog is licking us.
This is one of the perks of doing it from your house. As I've said before, the pups get to come visit you and just relax you even further. Oh my goodness. Except when they bang their heads, wubs.
She's not the smartest. But she is the sweetest. So I was at a concert and I like took acid. And, well, on this acid trip, I was like, all right, I kind of want to be this whore. Like, and a week later, I made my OnlyFans, and within 24 hours, and I wasn't even, like, being nude, I made a month's salary at my old job. I was like, all right, so I can quit, and even if it doesn't work out, I have a month's salary, so I just can't spend all of it.
Literally. Oh, my God. That was, I think, the biggest, like, reassuring thing for me for OnlyFans was, like, I really equated it to how much I was making as a hostess.
Yeah.
At $20 an hour, which is still a lot to be paid for a hostess. And I was still making like barely $300 a week, which is insane when you compare it to OnlyFans numbers. Like absolutely insane. So that's like whenever someone's like, oh my God, like why did you do it? I've never heard a girl like, I just wanted to. Like it always has something to do with money and like the easiness at which you're able to attain like a large amount of money very quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely quick, easy money. And then also I remember like listening to like Call Her Daddy, which I know there's a lot of mixed views, like is it misogynistic, does it empower women, whatever. But I remember being like, all these men, like, they make more than me for no reason. Like, they already paint us as sluts and bitches and whatever because of, like, how I'm dressed on my Instagram, which I'm, like, one of the, like, the least slutty people. I'm a slut with girls, but not with guys. So, I mean, I guess I'm, like, in some ways a slut, but, like, with men, I'm, like, very, very prudish. Mm-hmm. So, I was, like, I just, like, want to prove a point here and, like, help break stigmas about the platform because most of the girls I've talked to on OnlyFans, this was before I really jumped into porn, but most of the girls when I first joined were like, and I literally don't do anything. Like, literally. I'll show my tits, I'll make out with girls, but I'm not a porn star. So I'm like, why is there just this stigma? And then I wanted to go a step further because I'm like, OnlyFans just isn't for porn stars. And then I'm like, so what if there are porn stars on there? Like, why are men, women, like, why are they so judgmental towards that? It's like people having control of their own content. And it's like, people do this shit for free. So then I would like, you know, my mission just kept getting deeper and deeper to like help empower women.
Well, my whole thing is like, okay, so like if a man comes out that he like did some Chippendales dancing and was a male stripper, it's like kind of considered Channing Tatum, like, oh my God, he's so hot, let's put him in Step Up and give him a shit ton of movies. If a girl comes out like Cardi B or Kim Kardashian where they had sex scandals and they were strippers, it's suddenly like a whole thing where they're looked down upon for. And like still to this day, I feel like even if a guy comes out and like he has a sex tape that gets leaked, it's almost like dope as hell that he was like fucking this hot girl. But if a girl has a sex tape that gets leaked, it's, oh my God, she's such a whore. Yeah,
unless I remember that sex tape of A$AP Rocky came out a while ago where everyone was tweeting like his sex game week.
I didn't even see that.
Was it? It was
the last
A$AP,
big one I heard about was freaking Jay Alvarez.
Oh yeah, this was like a few years ago. It was like before he met Rihanna or was dating Rihanna.
I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty
A$AP
sure,
had one.
But he got it deleted off like the
I mean, duh. I'm like,
really
you can't even
quickly.
find half the OnlyFans girls on like the regular internet. You think that A$AP Rocky's not getting his sex tape deleted?
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
Hilarious. Yeah, his stroke game was just like,
A little weak?
yeah.
Damn.
It was just like very lazy. But I mean, then again, if you're fucking ASAP Rocky and you have girls begging for your dick, like, would you put in a lot of effort?
I'm like, I need to know the context because I doubt that Rihanna's staying with someone with subpar like dick game. That's just
I just
not...
feel like guys don't have good dick game for girls they don't care about.
Yeah,
So,
100%. That's why
think-
whenever
yeah.
someone's like, wait, why don't you like... I'm personally like, don't ever sleep with anyone that doesn't have emotions for you because if they don't care about you, they're not going to care about your orgasm. And then what the fuck are you doing? Why
You're
are you
basically
here?
just like a masturbation blow up doll.
That's what I'm saying. So if they don't care about you, do not let them into your sacred space because you can get just as good of an orgasm. Well, not just as good, but like you can get one that won't make you want to cry afterwards from a vibrator. That won't rob you of your emotional integrity and your respect for yourself. So
It's funny because before OnlyFans, I could never come just by like using my fingers, and now I can.
like I've had to learn
I had to learn
for
but
variation.
Also, I was just like, I never thought of myself as a very like sexual person or someone who was hot or sexy or anything. And then I would like watch videos back where I'm like masturbating and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm turning myself on, which was like the weirdest thing. And like I started like stepping more into my sexual power. I think I still have to like step into my normal power.
Not just in your persona.
Yeah.
In your real life.
We're working on it.
Baby steps. I mean, the mold poisoning has not helped.
No, it stripped me of everything I thought I was. A hard worker, a good friend. Like a good boss. I've been apologizing to my assistant like 3 times a week, being like, sorry, I'm so snappy. And she's like, you're not even being snappy. And I'm like, well, this is snappy for me. So,
dude, you are literally like one of the nicest people that I've ever. I can't even imagine you being snappy. You're like, I don't want it like that. I'm so sorry. Can you just take my dog for a walk? I'm so sorry that I asked you in that tone.
It really is. I'm like, I can read it in the tone I was thinking it, and I'm like, oh no, I can't say it like that.
That's what I feel like you think it is. Like the tone you're hearing it in is not the tone that's coming out. So it's like, when you apologize, it's like you just said it like a fairy. I'm confused. Why do you think you're mean?
I literally just like texted her like, top of the priority, this needs to be done first thing today. And then I was like, I'm so sorry. That was
so demanding. I'm sorry. It's almost like I pay you to work for me or something. I'm treating you like an employee. I apologize. Oh my God, Adelia.
I'm a softie.
Is there like any physical thing that you can see that like shows that you have mold poisoning, or is it literally just all internal?
No, it's internal. Like, my symptoms were just like being extremely dehydrated. I wasn't absorbing food very well. I wasn't absorbing water like at all. I still have trouble absorbing water. I was drinking, like, my first red flag was like I drank 2 gallons of water in an hour and my lips were still cracking from being so dehydrated. I was like, this isn't normal. And I went to like campus health at U of A, and like the doctors kept saying I was fine. Like, we would run some blood tests. Came back. They kept thinking it was diabetes or thyroid issues. Came back. Nothing was wrong with either of those. And, they are not qualified enough to know that anything else could have been wrong with me. And I did live with black mold for a while. So I started getting bad stomach issues. And then my face. And this was actually more than my stomach issues and more than my dehydration. My face started to get so puffy. It was like, I just looked like a different person to myself. So it's like, I would be embarrassed to take pictures. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. I'm punching it
closer. Bam.
There. I can see
I can see the titties too. Perfect.
But I was like embarrassed to take pictures, and it got really bad like beginning of last year, where I was just like, all right, I need to get like buccal, cheek fat removal. I got a chin implant to and it slimmed out my face a lot, but it didn't take away the puffiness, and the puffiness didn't start going away until recently, actually, because I started getting acupuncture, and like mold takes away the collagen from your face. So it's like I was losing collagen here while there was puffiness from like the dehydration.
So it was like
and
fast
stuff.
aging you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, because I was like, because people on my TikTok even notice, like, you look like you're aging really fast for being 24. I was like, I know they're trying
TikTok.
I know they're trying to be mean, but I was like, no, they're right. And like, it makes you lose collagen so quickly.
My feelings are hurt because they're kind of right now. Yo, TikTok will really just humble you. If you ever need to be humbled, if your self-esteem is just a little bit too high, post a TikTok. I swear to God, you'll get humbled real quick.
People call me like plus size queen on TikTok. People say like either butterface or whatever the opposite of a butterface is. It's like pick one.
Wait, what? I thought there was only butterface.
Well, butterface is when your body's good but your face is bad, and then like like they'll just be like, oh my God, your face is good but you're kind of fat, kind of thing.
I feel like people. That's the thing is like that. You can never.
What is that? Face butter? Should we name it
face butter?
Because it's
gotta be that. Because it's like butt her face, a butterface.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even get that.
You didn't?
No, I never knew that.
Butt her face, like everything but her face.
Interesting. Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Everyone thinks it's butterface, like you spread butter, but it's like butt her face.
Oh, yeah. I really thought it was like butter, like.
Dude, there are so many like sayings like that I've said wrong and been corrected on in my life. Just like, that's not the way you say it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's how you. No, that's not how you say it. I just always think about the How I Met Your Mother episode where he's writing professor on the board. And then he's like going to write another F, and he like looks at the student, and she's like, and he doesn't do it. And then it's like, oh, there's always gaps in like the way you were raised, like things that just go over your head. And he's like I didn't know that it wasn't chameleon, it was chameleon. And it's just like little things that you either hear your parents say or like you pick up in like your town or something that's not the way it's actually said.
Oh my God, that, or when your parents are like a little off and then you repeat what they say and then the real world humbles you really fucking quickly.
The world has a way of doing that. Children have a really good way. That's why TikTok is so brutal, because it's open to the children. Children are so mean. I just think about like when I was bullied the most and when I was like made to feel the most shitty, and it was definitely middle school.
Middle school for me too.
Horrible time.
Yeah. I got like food thrown at me, like,
oh damn.
Yeah, people I'd sit with would sometimes had food thrown at them too because they were trying to hit me.
Because they'd be your friend.
Yeah, and then like there were two girls who were popular who like left the popular group to hang out with me because of how like they actually really liked me, and they're like, we don't understand why she can't hang out with you guys, so we're gonna go hang out with her in the back. And then they started getting bullied and they weren't considered like popular anymore, and I'm like, hey guys, like I'm sorry, little old me over here.
Oh my God, that's weird. Did that like come out of the blue, like just randomly?
The carrot rumor, man.
What? Wait, I had a phallic item rumor too, so I would like to hear what your carrot rumor was.
So, when I was like in 6th grade, I feel like to preface this, I should mention in elementary school, I was like the biggest goody two-shoes. I didn't learn a single cuss word till I was in 5th grade. Before that, I thought the only cuss word there was like crap. So in 5th grade, I finally learned what cuss words were. In 6th grade, I was still very, like, I didn't know things. Yeah, naive. I thought, like, Mary was still a virgin, had fights with people about it. I was, like, we were learning about AIDS in one of our classes, and I'm like, well, you can't catch AIDS if you don't do anything bad. Like, okay.
You're like, this is, I'm giving you preface. I'm letting you know.
So and I didn't really have any friends. Like, I would literally go from, like, kind of just wandering to different like friend groups to see where I fit in, and like I'd be like, can I sit here? And then I'd be like, all right, well, they don't really like me, gonna go to the next one. And then like these two really, really popular girls made a fake Facebook profile of this gorgeous girl, like, and said that she went to a neighboring high school since I grew up in like Manhattan Beach, so it's like basically all the high schools kind of intermingled, like Redondo Beach, Torrance, Palos Verdes, like El Segundo, like we all kind of knew each other. So she was like from a neighboring high school, middle school, and she became friends with all these people in my school, and I was like, oh my God. And then she friend requested me, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. She friend requested me. And it escalated really quickly where she started asking me really weird questions like, do I masturbate? I didn't know what it meant. I said yes. Then she's like, do you masturbate with carrots? I was like, yeah, duh. Like, next question. And then I like looked up what masturbating meant. And I was like, it was something like they either explained it to me or I looked up what it meant. And I was like, oh, my brother is here. I can't right now. Because I didn't want to say no and like look like a loser.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, my brother's here. Like, I'll do it later or something like that. Because they wanted me to like masturbate with a carrot in front of them or something. And then I was like, oh, like my brother's here. Like, I can't. And like, they spread it around the whole school, like being like, Adelia masturbates with carrots. I became the biggest fucking loser. It was like me and this gay kid. And then I remember I would like stand up for him. I don't know why.
Which probably made it even worse for you.
Yeah, it made it even worse for me. Like,
Whoa.
Hi, Wubs, you little needy little boo. But that's like just when the bullying started. And then like people in middle school would be like, I remember I had a crush on this guy. Let's just call him Jay because his name starts with a J. And I was like, oh my God, he's so hot. Like I have such a big crush on him. And like word got around. And then right in front of me, because someone told him like kind of close to me when we had class, he's like, tell Adelia she's gross and ugly. And I was standing right there being like, okay.
You're like, I just want to kill myself, but it's fine. I just want to throw myself off a bridge, but you know, we're good.
Yeah, I became like so depressed. It was like I was sleeping like all because I didn't have anything to do really on weekends other than I went horseback riding, and then other than that I was like, well, I'm kind of a loser, so I just end up sleeping all day because
so this was before the mold poisoning.
This was before the mold poisoning, but it's funny because it's like I would know like I have energy to do stuff, but I'd be so depressed. I'm like, well, what do I have to do? So I'd be like, all right, go back to sleep and fantasize about life. Edward Cullen fucking me instead of Bella. God. I'm like, I'm more exciting than Bella. I have more issues than her.
Literally, this girl is so boring. She just moved to freaking middle of nowhere because she hated her mom in Arizona. That was my shit though, dude. I remember I was in 7th grade and it was on the summer reading list, Twilight. I was like, wait, they put a book about vampires on the summer reading list for school? It's clearly the book I'm gonna fucking read. Like, yeah. I don't care about any of these other books. And then I became instantly obsessed with the entire series, which became like an entire like vampire obsession, which was already kind of there because my dad has a vampire obsession.
Oh.
Like when I was younger, I used to watch like when I was 3 years old, this man took me to see Blade.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Blade is a black vampire who is a daywalker as well. He's half vampire and he is half human. And it is not a movie for children. It is definitely rated R. There's definitely the opening scene. They have sprinklers that come on in the vampire club, and it's blood coming from the ceiling.
Oh my God.
And my dad was like, everyone's just looking around like, you have a child here? And I was like, is this strawberry syrup? Or like, I've always been a very strange child. I just like, I want to understand how things work. Even, Wubs, you are so needy. It's so freaking cute.
She's like, hi, can I join the podcast?
I need more attention.
What do you want, baby girl?
She's like, mother, mom.
These keep falling out. I'm just gonna.
You're like, I'm just gonna do it and do it raw.
I know, Wubs.
Oh my God, you're such a cutie.
Oh my gosh, she's been such a lifesaver for me because I think like oh my God, girlfriend. You gotta chill.
Like, I'm needy.
I think one of the biggest like revelations for me was like, okay, I love Wubs unconditionally and Wubs loves me unconditionally. Like, why can't I love myself unconditionally? And it's been like, it's been kind of. Are you trying to get a kiss right now? Okay, get on the floor, baby girl.
She's like, no.
She's like, you have not been paying enough. I left her for a whole 3 hours this morning by
not
herself.
3 hours.
But she's teaching me what it's like to be like to have unconditional love, and it's like I'm having to catch myself a lot when I'm being like really, really mean to myself. Where I'm like, all right, like. It's not even like, would I say this to Wubs? Because I feel like I say mean things to her because she doesn't understand me. When she'll like pee on something, I'm like, do you want to go back on the streets? But if she could understand me, I wouldn't say any of that.
Literally.
But like, I'm like, would Wubs say this to me? Like, would Wubs tell her mom that she's ugly? Would Wubs tell her mom that like she's not very likable? Like, no, she's obsessed with me.
Literally. She is literally
so obsessed with
be further than a foot from you, and that's not the way you feel about someone that is not likable. So there's your response to the likability right there.
There's our needy little girl. Well,
now she's out of here. Okay, so what would you say is the biggest change in your life since starting your OnlyFans?
I mean, there's been quite a few changes. I feel like having financial security is definitely really nice because it's like, I don't really run out of money like I used to anymore. But I think the biggest thing to come out of OnlyFans, not even just financial security, because, like, you know, I could skate by all my life, but, like, not have confidence. Like, I think OnlyFans has brought me confidence that, and I think that's, like, the most important part. Like, I'm still working on my confidence, but it's, like, I mean, I wasn't very good at my sales jobs. I wasn't very good in school. I mean, I tried really hard in school, and was getting, like, a 3.3, like 3.5, and to me, I'm like, how is it that I study harder than all the other kids and don't, like, get the same grades? So, like, when I started an OnlyFans, I started realizing, like, oh, I know how to market myself. Like, oh, I know how to do this. And I started realizing, oh, I am kind of smart. And then I started, like, making friends. And I was like, oh, so I am pretty likable and pretty sociable. And it's, like, just thing after thing that I was able to accomplish with OnlyFans. I was like, okay, so, like, there's no reason for me to, like, not be confident, like, but then now it's getting that authentic confidence, because I've gotten my confidence off of a lot of, like, external factors. Like, I get my confidence from how much I make, or my achievements, or being in a certain percentile on OnlyFans, or how many fans I have. And now that, like, I'm really sick, it's like I'm having to find confidence in literally just existing, which I think, like, we're taught as kids to not love yourself for just existing. Like, you have to love yourself for working hard. This has been my male, like, misogynistic impression recently. Like, you have to love
Like,
yourself.
this is the voice of men right now.
You have to love yourself for working hard. You have to love yourself for being pretty. You have to love yourself for having big boobs, having a big butt. I mean, truthfully, I still want my boobs to be bigger, but it's just because, like, you know how many outfits I have that would look better if my boobs were just bigger? Like, that's, like, my, you know, my thought process, because, like, I'm trying to tone down the bathing suits on Instagram. So I'm like, my tits need a pop in these shirts I'm wearing. So this is where my brain is going. That was my deciding factor, actually, to where I was like, I'm going to get them bigger, because I'm like, I'm rebranding my Instagram to be less hoey. So I need bigger boobs so I can be hoey and more.
Hoey and more clothing.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I mean, you could also just Victoria's Secret it. Victoria's Secret has a way of turning everyone into a hoe, even if they're 12.
You know, because it doesn't work if you're doing the whole underboob thing, and I am a hoe with my underboob on Instagram, so you can't wear a push-up bra.
That's true.
And have your underboob be popping. That's very true. So that's, like, my goal. Like, right here with the dress I'm wearing, it's like, it would be, no, but, you know, they'd be more pushed together.
You're like, I would be rocking the cleavage still.
I'd be actually,
so
like,
you're trying to have just, like, natural cleavage, like resting cleavage.
Exactly. That's exactly my goal.
The funny thing is that is literally a look that is not achievable unless you have fake boobs. Like, even if you have real boobs, you'll never just have resting cleavage.
Yeah, that's
why
this. I've always just loved the look of fake boobs so fucking much.
There's a lot of girls that do.
Yeah.
It was very heavy in the 90s, like before asses were the thing, it was all about the titties. And I swear to God, like, every show was about some girl getting a boob job. Every movie, like, everyone had a goddamn boob job if you were below a C cup. It was insane. And if you had a C cup and you wanted to be like a stripper, you would get like a giant it was like double D's are like where you gotta go.
And double D's are what I want. But, like, it just so happens that it's because I used to wear the bombshell when I was younger, and, like, the bombshell made me a double D back then, and I was like, say less. I already see how it looks, and it works.
Literally.
So that's what I need.
Well, the thing, it's the mold.
Oh my God, really, it just comes out and all. Actually, it doesn't come out as gas, but
you're like, I wish it did.
Oh, it's just the detox. But honestly, like, society, I mean, honestly, having an OnlyFans, like, seeing all these girls with such perfect bodies, and it's like, it can be so intimidating sometimes. Like, there have been content trips, and especially with the moles, where it's like, I feel puffy, or I feel really pale, or I feel just, like, not like I'm looking my best. And then it's like, I will literally pass up collab opportunities, because I'm like, well, they're way prettier than I am, so.
Oh my God. You're crazy.
But, I mean, this was, like, a few months ago.
You're like, when I was feeling real down. You're like, this was, like, the height of the mold. How did they finally figure out that you had mold poisoning?
I have had so many vials of blood taken, and then, like, we didn't really find anything in the blood, and then my doctor was like, okay, here's a gallon jug, I need you to pee in it, and we're gonna, like, test the pee. First of all, most people don't pee a gallon in a day. I peed the whole gallon, and I believe it was, like, 18 or less hours. Filled it all the way to the top, and there was still more, because this was when I was getting up 7, 8, 9 times, probably more in the middle of the night to pee.
Oh my God.
So,
how are you ever sleeping?
That's why I was sleeping so much. Like, I was sleeping like 12, 13 hours a day, because it's like I would get up and pee like about once an hour. And it's like, or I would wake up so dehydrated, I need water, and then I'd wake up like 30 minutes later because I'm like, oh, well, it's just passing through. Literally. So then through my pee, they were able to find that there was mold. And then we, like, tested my apartment with little, like, mold strips, and, like, we didn't really find anything. And then I told my apartment, like, yeah, we need to have this, like, professionally checked. They said they did. They didn't, because they were like, we didn't find any mold. I hired a professional mold inspector, and there was mold, so we're about to move all my stuff out. I gave them 30 days notice to vacate, and I can't even sue because it's California.
What does that mean?
California
You're allowed to have mold in California?
So in California, for some reason, the laws make it to where, like, all you have to do is, like, tell your tenant you have mold, and then they have to fix it. So if they're working on fixing it, you can't sue. If you've let them know, you can't sue, like, if they're doing something about it. If you let them know and they don't do anything about it, you do have grounds to sue.
I mean, didn't you let them know to check?
I did.
And then they didn't, and then you checked?
Yes.
So
there might be some grounds.
That sounds like a little bit of a gray area to me.
It
that
does.
Sounds like someone didn't do their job properly, and that person wasn't you.
Yeah. There's a lot of lawyers that won't even take my case.
Oh my God.
Because of how unlikely you are to win in California. Like, it's so bad. I feel like they need to, like, change the laws, like, do something.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm basically settling by, like, ending my lease early so I don't have to keep paying for rent.
In a mold apartment?
Yeah. Like, and
what the hell? That should just be a given.
Wouldn't you think?
Be like, you can put me in a different apartment in this apartment building then that I see get tested for no mold, but the freaking consolation prize is not me moving out of the mold apartment. That should be just a given.
Wouldn't you think that, like, they would, because I mean, I've talked to, like, other people who have mold, and it's like their tenants are so, or are they a tenant? No, their landlords are so apologetic. They, like, refund them for the time they've lived there. They've done all this stuff, and it's like they're just offering for my lease. And I was like, this is negligence on your guys' end, because Literally. I told them for 2 months that I was suspected of having mold poisoning. But the thing is, though, because it was found in my apartment in San Diego, and this is where kind of the loophole is, too, only one of the 3 or 4 molds that are in my system was found there. So it'd be very hard. This is kind of why I can't do a lot, because it's hard to link that I got poisoning from there, because there's 3 more that are unaccounted for. One of them is definitely from there, but there's 3 that are unaccounted for.
But you're probably way more susceptible to it than anyone else, because you had the other molds already in your body.
Exactly, and I developed, like, an allergy from having it in my body for so long.
And you were eating so many shrooms at the time, too. You're just adding more fungus to the fungus among us. That's probably the other fungus. No, it's probably the apartment and the shrooms.
Well, I lived in college in a house for 3 years that had black mold, so that was definitely it.
Oh my God.
But
you've just been plagued by mold.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I mean, this might be a little embarrassing for how, like, dirty I really live, but I thought the black mold in my shower was conditioner that had gotten dirty, and it was black mold. No one ever taught me that, like, to look out for that. I just thought it was literally conditioner, because my conditioner does get dirty, and it looked similar. So I just never knew. And then my roommate found some under her sink my first year living there, and then my mom, when she was moving me out, found it in my shower. So I'm like, all right. So I lived with that for 3 years, and I started getting really sick my sophomore year of college when my roommate found it under her sink. So it probably spread to the walls and the whole house and
Literally.
Just got me sick.
Oh my God.
Right? And I can't even sue that apartment because I have no evidence other than my mom and I just talking about it was there.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
Oh
take
my
pictures.
God.
First of all, if my mom knew, because my mom was older, she should have been like, ideally, like, take pics for evidence.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because there's even like, there's people that I know that have sued because they painted over the mold. And then when the like paint started peeling, under it was the black mold. And there's no way that we moved into this apartment and we painted over black mold. Like, this is clearly you guys. And they won that one.
Yeah. That is disgusting. How
Can you imagine?
I mean, I can, because my apartment said it was a townhouse, actually, but they said they dealt with it, and they didn't. Well, they probably just dealt with it under the sink, but then didn't have an inspector come out
Do
to,
any
like,
of the rest of it. No.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right? So now I'm nervous to, like, buy a house or to rent a house, because I'm like, okay, so then we need a mold inspector to come out and look at everything and look for everything.
See, these are the things, like, I always say I can't wait to be older because of the life experience that I'm going to have by the time I'm older. This is the type of thing where it's like you're moving into a new house and you're like doing it all yourself, and you're really going to be in the position to be like, check for mold. And it may be something that you wouldn't have never thought of before, and you actually catch mold, and it's the reason why like you get money off your house or some shit. Like, a situation that you went through early in your life is something that prepares you for something that could have been so much worse if you had not gone through it. Like, imagine if you bought like a giant beautiful house and you didn't think about mold, and you own it already, and now you're liable for that mold. And now you have a house that you just bought that's beautiful, but like the beams under it are molded. Yeah. And now you're gonna know to check for some shit like that. Like, things always come full circle to me like that. You always realize, like, oh, that prepared me for that. In like the most, but yet like least religious way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like usually the most unobservant kind of, like, I wouldn't say go with the flow, because I am very opinionated, but you know, like, I don't care if things are like dirty, really. Like, I'm very like, you have messy plates as long as they don't stink, like, whatever. And this is kind of an eye-opener that, like, I do need my place cleaned constantly, because you can get sick, but
you can really get sick. Like, actually, that's the crazy part about it. I'm someone that like clothes are everywhere for me. It's never usually like food or anything, but I will just definitely have like piles of clothes, and it got even worse with like being an influencer and being given so many free clothes. I'm like, where do I put all this? Yeah. That's why I just started giving a lot away to Goodwill, and like I'm going to try to start depopping stuff to do like the not fast fashion thing, but oh my God, there's so many clothes, so much lingerie.
Oh my gosh, and lingerie, I feel like the sales are going to start going down a lot, because influencers can't even post in lingerie anymore.
Literally.
I mean, they can, but to a minimum.
You can and you can't. You can if like you do it in a super artsy way, and like you wear a sweater and you're like at a photo shoot and your hair and makeup's done, but like you just like in your bedroom in lingerie, it's probably gonna get flagged.
Either flagged or like, and it also like depends on the angles and like.
Oh yeah, God forbid you like look too hot in a photo. Definitely gonna get shadow banned. For sure. God forbid.
God forbid you have like fuck me eyes. God forbid. I think that's why I get away with a lot more on my Instagram than other people's, because I smile a lot.
Oh yeah, you have to. I've told people that from the day I started like taking ass photos. Like, if you're not smiling in it, don't post it, because it's gonna get flagged. Someone's gonna be mad. Just always. It's the butt.
And it's so funny, because I like reported a photo from someone else that like where there was like clear like kind of animal abuse going on, and I reported it, message back, our automated system doesn't see that this is a problem, but photos in ass and bikinis, like, a no issue. That's a problem. That's an issue.
That's a serious issue.
But borderline animal abuse
is not.
No.
Dude, it's honestly crazy the way that they have like set up the automated systems now, because I feel like things get flagged for things that they just aren't anymore. Like, I literally just had a video on TikTok that I was just talking to someone about this, where it got flagged for endangering a minor. There's no minors. No one's talking about minors. There's no mention of anyone below the age of 18, yet I'm endangering a minor. How? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. And then I appealed it and I got it back. But it's just like, it was an automated system that for some reason said that was that, and it could take down your entire account. Like, I couldn't even post for the whole day. So it's like, your income gets hit by that shit. I couldn't promote anything on TikTok because it was under review. Like, people don't realize, like, social media, when you set up your income around it, something as stupid as like, oh, like I got flagged on TikTok or Instagram, like that is actually a big deal.
It really is, because then it affects your income. Like the months, it was weird because like the months my Instagram was deleted, surprisingly my income didn't go down, but then when I got it back, it did, because there's a cycle kind of like your work from a month before shows up in your paycheck like a month later. So it's like, since my Instagram and TikTok were gone, it didn't affect me the months they were gone, but the months after it affected me because like I wasn't having that consistent like new subs, new traffic, new exposure. And then like no one really wanted to post me on their stories because like I went from like
you could
300,000 followers to 3,000. So girls didn't like look twice really in my direction.
No, you pretty much were, I'm sure, only doing like OnlyFans collabs at that point and
exactly.
TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people were like, oh, who are you on Instagram?
Uh-huh.
And they're still very separate worlds. Like there will be people that have like millions on TikTok and have like 10K on Instagram. I'm like, how?
I have never understood like the crossover. Like when you have a large male audience, they do usually go to your Instagram because they know that's where the link is. But if
you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know. Because I have like my Instagram as like the link to go to. Because you have to,
because TikTok is hella sensitive.
You can't even like put, I thought I was being sneaky. I put like itsdeals.com. And then, like, it said, visit my fun link. So then you have to press again. And then it has the list of the fun links. And you still... It wasn't doing it.
You just gotta do straight to Instagram. They know.
Yeah, you can't even do straight to Twitter.
No, you cannot don't talk about Twitter. They just know that like adults are on Twitter, like kids aren't on Twitter. So they just know like you can't be doing anything PG if you're pushing to Twitter. I'm sure people do PG things and push to Twitter. If you don't understand jokes, that's what that was.
Yeah.
But literally, I feel like anytime someone like pushes to Twitter, they get in trouble, but it's usually like the girls that do a lot of porn that like you go to their Twitter and it's like just straight pussy right there automatically on the page.
Oh my god. And I've always wondered, like, when you actually post that stuff on Twitter, like, does it really translate to your OnlyFans that well?
I wonder.
Because like I've never been comfortable enough to post it on Twitter because I'm like, all right, I have friends that are very much not in the OnlyFans space who follow me there, and I'm like, I would almost feel like it's unconsensual that they just see my like vagina. Well, a lot of people make separate Twitters for that kind of stuff. 100%. But I didn't because that sounded like a lot of work.
No, and also like I feel like people make separate pages when they like really go into the porn world and their porn name is completely different from their like real life name. Yeah. But especially for me, like people are like, oh, why didn't you make your OnlyFans under a different name? I'm like, because it's my fans. Like I'm not. It's gonna be someone else. Like this is literally like on my regular Instagram. I was already doing implied nudity and like stuff like that, and then when Instagram got more strict, I moved over to OnlyFans, and now I have more fun there.
Oh, but yeah. Like, well, I had to like go so quickly on OnlyFans, like go from not showing anything to showing my tits because I was already like basically showing my nipples on Instagram, like
that's what happened to me literally.
Sheer shirts. And it didn't become like, I think you can still kind of post it because it's not technically against community guidelines, but I think they got stricter on it.
If people don't report it. Here's the thing is like Instagram pays attention to reports. So if you have people that are reporting your shit, if it does go against community guidelines, it'll get taken down. If it doesn't, then nothing happens. But like, it just really depends on how many people are reporting your shit.
Yeah. Like Riley Reid just got her Instagram deleted again.
Again?
Yeah. Riley, so did Lena.
They're coming for everyone again. They said refresher, new year.
New year, new us. Riley didn't even have her like bio or her like OnlyFans in her bio. But when she made her new account, I will say she did a lot of swipe ups directly to her OnlyFans link.
Well, that's why.
And it caught up with her.
Duh.
All these months later.
I was literally just talking to someone about like the purge from when Instagram came back after COVID, and they went through Instagram and people were losing shit from like months before. Yeah. Stories were getting taken like down. Like you had to literally go into your archive of stories, and if you did any like swipe ups to Instagram, delete them because they were going back through everything over the past months and deleting people because of their past behavior when Instagram was like shut down during COVID.
Yeah, I made the mistake because I mean I joined OnlyFans, I feel like still not like super early on because there were people who joined in the beginning of the pandemic. I joined like a few months after the pandemic started, like maybe 6 or 7 months after it started. The girls who did it from the beginning were the smart ones, because that's when it was booming. Business was booming.
Dude, everyone was home. There was no other options other than like Netflix and OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like that was
And the stimmy checks, like everything.
Oh my God. So you're home, you're doing nothing, and the government's paying you. And there was so much like rent forgiveness. There was so much like no one had to pay utilities. Like, it was crazy.
Unemployment was paying just as much as my job was. So like people just had all the money in the world to
do
spend.
nothing.
So like, oh my gosh. So I didn't start till months later, but like no one told me like you could get your Instagram deleted for doing, because I did swipe ups on my first Instagram to OnlyFans all the fucking time.
No one tells you unless you literally have a friend that is doing this shit already, that isn't too insecure with themselves to share knowledge with you and help you out. Yeah, that's the only way you find out anything real. Because like those courses, like be the next influencer, I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna teach me how to be the next influencer? How many followers do you have? And it's always someone with like 10 fucking K or some shit. I'm like, so you're gonna teach me how to be the next influencer with less followers than me? I don't get that.
And the catch is they usually, like, how they make so much money is like they'll have you sign up under their promo code or like their promo whatever, so then they get however much of that, like whatever you make.
Literally. Oh my God. The schemes, man.
The schemes people play. And like when I first started OnlyFans, no one was, I mean, there were some people who were really upfront, but a lot of people danced around what they did. And
my God, that's still a thing, girl. I don't really do that much. I just do topless.
Oh my God, there was a girl. This was hilarious. I'm actually friends with her though, but so I'm just gonna say she's a girl. When I first met her, she's like, I'm making 6 figures a month just being topless. And she had like 300 fans or something like that. And I was like, or not 300, like 3,000 fans, like something. And I was like, there's no way. I then come to find out that she'll like fuck herself, but only show her face. So, you know.
Okay.
So, like, it's still very...
The thing is, like, literally with OnlyFans and with any paywall site, like, there's a billion options. It's literally like you're unique like a snowflake. Like no one does exactly the same thing on there. Like I guarantee you. And at the end of the day, anyone asking you should probably just buy your fucking content, because if they're not doing that, they're asking you because they're nosy. Like what are you doing? You can see it.
Yeah.
It's available.
Well, see, I was asking when I first started because I'm like, well, I
what
need to
do girls
know,
do on here?
What do girls do? Like, what am I going to be expected to do? And then now I ask girls what they do, because when we collab, we got to like, you know, figure out what they're comfortable with. Because can you imagine if I just like started fingering a girl or something?
Not only does bikini photos.
It's so I felt like I need to say that because I've had girlfriends collab with guys, and this is particularly why I don't like to collab with guys, because they were, I don't know if they were never taught to like ask consent, but they'll just go like straight for the pussy, and it's like, you said we were doing a massage here, like what do you mean, like why are you grabbing things that like we didn't discuss beforehand? It's like, before I eat my friends out, we have to have a discussion, like we gotta ask. And like, you know, some girls are like, well, we all need to get tested, blah, 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 the safe thing to do. And it's like, if you don't have your test, like, you know, you can't just, like, do things willy-nilly.
You can't just be grabbing pussy out here like
you
Donald.
Can't.
Literally. But, yeah, that's a huge thing, is that's in the community, I guess, like, it's been promoted even more so with OnlyFans is consent. Because I feel like even with porn before people started bringing porn to OnlyFans, it was very much like whatever your agency said went, or whatever like the director said went. Like, oh, you're not comfortable with that shot, doesn't matter. Like, you're being paid for the day, you're doing it. So whether you are just in the bikini on OnlyFans and that's what you do, or whether you are doing full gangbangs, it doesn't really fucking matter. I just love the fact that like no one on there should really be doing anything that they're not comfortable with, because you are the person in charge.
Exactly. And like some of the guys who have been really creepy, like they have a reputation now on OnlyFans, and girls don't like to collab with them or hang out with them, as they shouldn't. But like, I think in porn, like, you know, mainstream porn, it wasn't, you know, a lot of the men who would do those kinds of things were directors and men of power. And like other men OnlyFans creators have nothing.
Literally.
Nothing. So it's like women are finally claiming their power back to be like, nah, man.
That's the thing, is like the power is literally back in the hands of the people that are doing basically the brunt of the work. Like you don't get to just stand there and like have all the say anymore unless you're actually the one that the whole image is based off of. Because think about it, like you can fire a manager, you can fire an account person that helps you or whatever, like post your pictures or keeps shit on track for you, but no one can fire you, because at the end of the day, like anyone that's following you, that's your fan. And even if you went somewhere else or to a different platform or did whatever you did, those people are fans of Adelia, so they're going to follow you. So that's what I think is super, super fucking dope about OnlyFans, and the way that it's kind of the same as Instagram, where like your fans can really follow you and really get to know you, and it's about you.
Yeah, my OnlyFans people see me at my ugliest, and I think they love it in a weird way, because they're like, Instagram doesn't see this side of you.
Literally. You're like, yes, this is me. This is the real me. I'm
like barely any makeup, my double chin protruding, and it's like just this angle of my vagina that's barely shaven. Go for it.
You're like, you were telling me about when you left toilet paper on your butt.
It was actually on my vagina. It was like my third masturbation video I ever made, and I had already made it, and I had already come, and there was toilet paper a little bit on my vagina, and I was like,
it's going out.
I'm not redoing that. I already came. Like, what do you mean?
Oh my God.
I was putting on a performance.
Okay, so what is a tip that you would give someone that A, wants to make an OnlyFans but hasn't jumped in yet, and B, is doing OnlyFans but wants to cross that threshold into porn?
So I feel like for girls who are just getting in the OnlyFans game, make sure you have a really solid following before you do it, or a really solid fan base, because back when I started in OnlyFans, it wasn't nearly as competitive, and it's like now you really have to stand out for something, because it's not like the quick, easy money it once was.
It really was now quick for a second.
It was quick for a second, but now it's like actually a lot of hard work to like keep your numbers up. It's like with my mold poisoning, I'm even like, do I have time to sleep and to get better? Because I want to be making like more money. Yeah. Because there's so many like dips and fluctuations, and don't spend all your money at once, because there's a lot of dips and there's a lot of fluctuation. And it's like, there's you just need to keep like showing up places. Like if you keep blowing up on TikTok, OnlyFans is the place. If you already have a big Twitter, OnlyFans is the place. Like there's a lot of things that would make you successful on OnlyFans, but just like make yourself different somehow. And then if you're like kind of being like, well, do I want to cross this threshold into like showing my vagina or doing full on porn? Here's the thing. After I made my sex tape, I am still making about the same amount as before I made my sex tape.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think it's as much about what you make as the relationship you have with your fans. I mean, also, I was selling it for a lot of money, so people are a little less likely to spend it. But I do think, like, just do whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, honestly, like, masturbating, there was a huge difference between before and after I started masturbating on camera. But, like, you could, even if you're not comfortable showing your vagina, I have friends who do implied masturbation, like just showing their face or wearing their underwear or doing it from the back so you can't see, and some of them make more than I do. So it's like,
that's
crazy. Some people really do like the tea. So I feel like for me, a sex tape in my eyes at the time was just easy. And I was like, all right, well, this was actually way fucking harder than if I just stuck to the content I was doing. Yeah. So just don't do what you're not comfortable with. And it's all about the fucking relationship, man. Like you gotta keep that relationship with your fans going.
Friends with them.
Yeah.
Because they're your fans, bro. They're the reason why you get to do what you get to do.
Oh, yeah. I have a few favorites.
Everyone does. And I'm sure they know. But I'm just going to close out now. Thank you guys so much for watching Tea with Tori. Again, I'm Tori212 Green on all platforms, and Tea with Tori podcast on Instagram. I'm back every Wednesday. If you're listening, then download it. If you are watching, then please like, comment, and subscribe. And Adelia, anywhere they can find you or anything you want to let them know to look out for?
definitely go listen to my podcast too. That's offensive, capital OF. And you can find all my links on itsdeals.com. There's no point in me saying what my Instagram and stuff is because, like, if it gets deleted, you're like, where else do I find her? So itsdeals.com.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
See you next Wednesday.